Another thing about Y2K that we could talk about is I guess the technological advancements from this period,
Right.
because for we've already mentioned cell phones, which is
Mhm.
like crazy. Like back in the old days, it wasn't just the iPhone or the Samsung. You
Mhm.
had Nokia, you had BlackBerry,
Mhm.
two things that I don't even know if they're still in business. They probably are still in business, but
Mhm.
they're not as relevant as they used to be anymore.
Yeah, totally. I remember the BlackBerry. I had this like ethics class and we were discussing it, but the work from home kind of thing, I just think this was also in like 2000s, but companies would give like Blackberries to their employees. So, like even when I think this is more about like tech world kind of thing, but like when you weren't at the office, you would have your work phone, your BlackBerry. So they were expecting you to be on that and like be able to, answer like work calls and, texts. So now it's just gone even further and now you're like working from home. You can have access to everything, from home.
Yeah.
So that's a big thing. Also like early 2000s like iPhone first like digital kind of like touchscreen that was like a monumental thing. I think like a lot of my CS classes like we talk about like how revolutionary that was.
I remember when they came out, my dad got one. He was the first person in my family to have an iPhone, and now he's the only member of my family that doesn't have an iPhone.
Uh-huh.
He has like a Samsung something, but
Mm-hmm.
um yeah, I always thought it was crazy. I actually love the design for the original iPhone and like the way it used to like look
Mm-hmm.
before like they made everything all flat.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like a big fan of skeuomorphism for
Mm-hmm.
some reason. I just think I thought it always looked cooler because it was like imitating like for example like the phone app would like look like it was like made
The
for
phone
phone
app.
calls.
Yeah.
The notes app like looked like an actual notepad, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I just thought it looked cooler design wise,
Mm-hmm.
and I always felt like they kind of gone on some sort of change because the iPhone's been around for almost 20 years now, coming up on the 20 years. It's I think 17, yeah, 17 years now,
Right.
and they've only changed things about
The
11
camera.
years ago to like basically make everything all flat designs.
Right.
And I always thought they could have like implemented something different every now and then,
Yeah.
but
I think that also goes to show like since that was such a revolutionary kind of period where now there's a digital touchscreen and then you have your UI that looks like super realistic, like the hyper realism. And then I think around like 2013, 14, maybe 16, I don't know. But all the icons are like flat, but there's some detail within the icons, but I prefer that um compared to now cuz now you're like getting rid of everything.
yeah,
But I like was watching their like every year they have their live kind of
the Mac
demos.
conference,
Yeah.
yeah,
So I was watching one clip of that and apparently because you have like the headsets now,
yeah,
they're bringing back like some kind of realism to their like iconography and stuff.
oh cool,
But I'm like interested to see what they're going to do with that, but I just think like the new iPhones are just not it. Like I remember asking people like when I was in middle school, like, "Oh, what iPhone do you have?" And people would be like, "iPhone 7," or like.
yeah.
But now it's like I don't even pay attention to like the number. Like they all look the same to me now.